This could be the end. Everything I've worked for, everything I set out to do. I'm telling you, if I don't get my act together, things are going to fall apart real fast. How you do, cousins? This is old Rusty. I'm your cousin and you're mine, and we're just out here together just trying to make our ends meet. Am I right? If one end doesn't meet the other, then things just fall apart. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. There's one thing that could potentially hold me back. And if you're like me, maybe you encounter this too. Today's video is all about a major issue that I hear other people have and that I also find myself dealing with today here towards the middle of December, the end of the year, and I need to get my doggone act together or else this could be a major problem with my business. This video is going to show you a few things that we've got lately that we're going to sell. We'll talk through some of that, but I also need to talk with you and maybe give an encouraging word. Now, I'm talking to myself here as well as you, but here's the teaser. I'm not going to make you wait till the end of the video to hear it and that junk. Of course, I'd love for you to watch the whole video, but that's not what this is about. What I'm talking about is in the world of reselling, it's super fun to go out there and source, isn't it? You go out and you find these things and you find these treasures and you're like, what? $2 for this, it's worth $100. Hooray! And then you get that and you come back and you think, man, this is such a cool thing. You put it up on the shelf and you're like, oh, I'll get to that later today. I'm going to photograph that. Maybe you even do photograph it. But then it comes time to do the listing and you're sitting there and maybe you get a couple things listed. You see that thing up on the shelf and you go, well, I'll get to that later today. Well, the day comes and goes. Next day, well, I need to get that thing up in the store or else I can't sell it. And you think about it and you don't do it. Maybe it's something you kind of like. If you're being honest with yourself, this is kind of cool. But nope, I bought this to sell it. I got to do this. I got to make the money on it. And then it's like, well, you know, that estate sale's happening today. Maybe I'll just go out there and see. I mean, there's probably a treasure there. And listen, that happens day after day. Things accumulate. Before you know it, you got boxes of stuff. You buy a display case to put that stuff in. Before you know it, you got all this cool stuff. But the whole purpose of getting that in the beginning was to sell it and make money. And you haven't done it. And here, I'm bringing this to you in the middle of December because right now, folks, right now is a chance for you to be honest with yourself, like I'm trying to be with myself, and say there are things that I've held on to this year that I have not sold. And I need to do it. The first step is actually putting that work in. It's not fun, but it is a drastic and pivotal, not drastic, it's a very important and pivotal part of the business. If you don't do this part, folks, you can't sell that item. It does no good just sitting on your shelf. Now, I have some artwork, some things that I get pleasure out of. And I'm not saying you can't ever do that. But what I am saying is that right now is the right time to try to take a step in the right direction and get some of those things up, because people right now are buying more heavily than any other time of the year. The best likelihood for you to get that thing sold is right now, folks. Get that stuff up in the store. I'm going to show you some things that I have held on to all year that I kind of like, but I'm going to take the steps. I'm going to show you some of those steps in this video. I'm going to get this thing up in my eBay store to sell. Will you join me? Will you take that step? I know I hear all the time of people who say, Rusty, I love buying and selling stuff. It's just so hard to actually do the listing. That's not the fun part. And I hear you. It's fun to go out there and get stuff. But when you're just spending money and you're not selling it, that can become trouble. And if I don't make a change now, if I keep doing this, I'm going to end up having storage unit after storage unit of things that I never look at, I don't get anything out of, and those represent money. Money I can use to pay my bills. Money I can use to put towards retirement, for savings, for my family and people I care about, right? Put it in the community, donations, all that kind of stuff. So anyhow, let's get into this. I'm sorry for the long intro, but I wanted you to know what this is about. Join me, will you? Let's try to do this together. Just coming over to the other side of one of the desks here that we operate out of here is this item right here. This is one of the things, folks, that I bought not long ago that I find fascinating. I love old bronzes. Let me give you the whole picture here. Look at this. It's a woman holding a child, reading to the child, and it's got like a little book here kind of behind. I'll try to rotate this puppy for you so you can see. It's quite heavy. It's entirely made. It's a bronze, all right? It's very heavy. It's very well designed. It's got a very old look to it. Very cool. And unlike stuff, and you can see, there are several indications that this is authentic, that it is old. Unlike things like costume jewelry and stuff that I often buy for, just let's say $2 or $3. I actually spent, I think I paid $30 for this. Which, it's still not a whole lot of money, of course, but it's worth quite a bit more than that, folks. And like, what am I doing? Just letting this sit on the shelf. It's cool looking, folks, but it's not, what is it doing for me? It's not doing a whole lot. I want to get it in the hands of a collector or somebody who's going to get more appreciation out of it. It's not exactly my preferred, style, although I do care about artwork. For me, if I'm being honest, it's artwork and it's musical instruments. Hello, and so like I'm gonna show you a couple of those. I got to get out here too. But this is the first thing, folks. I'm gonna get this thing photographed and listed in my eBay store today because this is what I got to do. That's what this video is about. If I want to ask you or encourage you to do it, I got to be willing to do it myself. So this is item number one that I need to get listed in December of this year and try to sell it. Item number two, and you can see I've got a bunch of jewelry and stuff here, some things I bought yesterday that need to go up eventually. Item number two, it's just an old camera. It's a Voigtlander. Let me see if I can zoom in. Voigtlander, camera. And I'm trying to remember how to open this. This part opens here. Let me see if I can get her open for you. All right, stop for just a moment. Listen, folks, there's something really special at the end of this video. We've got an announcement that's a big deal. It has everything to do with this channel and everything that the Slick Web Media Group is doing right now, and I want you to stick around for it. Now, of course, you know as well as I do that you don't have to watch this whole video to get to that, so I'm letting you know now because it's important enough for you to hear it, even if you don't watch the entirety of this video. Go to the end. I'm wearing a red jacket. That's the only teaser you're going to get, but you're not going to want to miss it. I apologize. I forgot how to open this puppy up. It's actually this little button right there. You got to press that, and this pops out. But isn't this neat? I think cameras are fascinating, particularly, what they would call large format or older ones, of which I have several at an antique store locally. But like this puppy has been sitting on my shelf. And yes, it's neat. Does it work? I don't know. I haven't put film in it and tried, so I don't even know if it's operational. It just sits on my shelf. What am I doing with this thing? Somebody wants this. These things sell for decent money, and I think I only paid $5 for it. You can see it's got some little bellows in there. This thing, it goes in like this. It comes out. It's neat, I think. But, that's not a good enough reason to just let this thing sit there. I need to get some money out of this, So this is item number two. It's a cool old camera. I've got lots of cameras, and I probably need to put some others up that I haven't put up as well. Maybe even some small lots. It's December time. This might be a nice gift for somebody. Doggone it, Rusty. Get that thing up in the eBay store. I'm going to walk over here and show you things. All of these things I'm showing you right now have not been listed. I have a variety up in here of ceramic stuff that's primarily, not all of it, but several in there are Asian pieces. And this is the stuff I really wanted to show you, is all of this old vintage Pyrex. It's old Pyrex, folks. Not this here. This is different. But we've got some Corningware in here and some Pyrex. All these old dishes and bowls. I think part of why I have drug my feet on this is that it's large and it's heavy and it's breakable. It's such a pain in my tush to wrap this stuff properly. It's heavy. It's bulky. It's highly collectible. People want it. People are itching. You're probably seeing this thing and, man, Rusty, I wouldn't mind buying that. Sure, that's why I bought it. I know that it's valuable. Not necessarily the most valuable of Corningware or Pyrex stuff, but there are some out there that are quite valuable. And you know what? This is the worst part, folks. I've had this for several months, and then just like 2 weeks ago, I found this bowl, and I knew I had one that matched it, so I bought it too. Folks, come on. Why am I holding on to stuff? It's like I just keep accumulating it. I just keep on getting it. It's a good deal. How can you pass up a good deal? Well, I really should be getting the sale of the item, getting my money back and the profit, and then using that money to reinvest, a portion of it. But nope, I pay the money, and all the money that I used to buy this stuff is just floating out there. It's a cost. It's a cost to me right now. I'm behind on the cost of this stuff because I didn't sell it. I haven't even listed it, right? It's my own fault. I have no one to blame except for myself. So I need to get all of this. You know what? I've got some of this stuff at the antique store too. So I either need to price this and put it at the antique store, or I need to pull the stuff out of the antique store that hasn't sold. Be serious about trying to list it for a price that people will pay for it. Get it out there. This is one of those things I definitely need to get to this week. I mentioned to you that I've got a bunch of bagged up mixed lots of jewelry. And I just sold this gigantic lot of antique jewelry. But you know what? Guess what's been sitting here for a while? This doggone it, right here, this. And what's more is underneath of it, that. I have hundreds of pieces here, folks. It's just silly. It's just silly. I look at it and I think, ooh, there's some good money in that. And then I just, doggone it, I just go off and do something else. What is my problem? I need to get in here and list this stuff. I've got loads of this jewelry. This isn't even all I've got. I got even more than that. Up here I got a box. And guess what? That stinker's full of stuff too. It's all individually bagged. I've got all this jewelry, folks. What am I doing? Look at this. This is stuff I do have listed already. Hordes of it. Oh, guess what? This whole thing is full of jewelry. I've got that stuff listed, but I'm dragging my feet on the rest of it. So you know what I did? All of this was in those containers down there. I pulled it out. Now it's out. It's on the table where I photograph stuff. I need to pull these out. I need to get these photoed today. And then they're on my phone. And every time I want to go into my phone and look at something, I see all of these photos of stuff. And it's a reminder to me that I need to this is why I need a little fire lit under my breeches so that I can get myself to work here, okay? I got so much stuff. Look at this. This is just one room in the warehouse. Look at all this Spider-Man stuff bagged up. I've got all kinds of stuff just in this one little space here, folks. And I just need to get to it. This is old Rusty years ago. It's a little piece of artwork I put together from photos I took in a photo booth. All right. Try to be creative. This is me when I was a little bit more of a youngster. But the reason I show you that is watch this. If I zoom back, here's my desk. Here's some of my artwork. Guess what? That piece, this piece up here, this piece over here, folks, I bought them all. Not for pleasure, but to resell. Kind of interesting piece there. Okay, going back to the photo booth art, if we flip around, we'll come down here, you'll see some more photo booth stuff. This is kind of my weird phase. And you know what? I've also got a photo booth here. This is my own personal booth. Got a box of some supplies, things that you can put in there. But this is it right here. It's a little photo booth, and I love using it. It's fun. It's entertainment. I like making art pieces out of it. But the reason I show you that is to say, as I walk over here, I've got stuff that I need to sell. I got all these I used to collect, and still do it on occasion, old photo booth photos. I find them absolutely fascinating, folks. So many cool ones here, pieces. But I decided years ago that I wanted to make a book out of them. So what I did, it was like a creative writing project and photo booth photos. And so what I've done is I've essentially taken scans of these that I own, and I have come up with fictional, like short fictional biographies or a story about these people. I gave them a fake name, I gave them a fake story, and I wanted to write a book. I got 64 of them, and I held on to all of these because I thought, well, listen, I'm going to make this project, I'm going to keep these photos, but all of these have good values. These could be sold for anywhere between $5, $10. Ones that are interesting and unique, like this dude staring with an intense desire in his mouth for this gigantic hot dog. Like, this is a $50 to $100 photo booth picture because of how unique it is, and maybe the only one that exists, and how bizarre is that. And I've got other cool ones, folks. Things like this. This is like a $100 photo booth picture. I'm not selling them because I got this project. Guess how long I've been working on this project? 8 stinking years. 8 years. Now, have I been working on it hard? Obviously not. It's just sort of been in the background. It's something that's one of those, well, I'll do that eventually. Well, am I? Because if I'm not, folks, I need to be honest with myself, and I need to sell these, because all of these photo booth pictures could pay my mortgage. I'm not kidding you. With everything in here, could pay my mortgage in a month. And that's a huge amount of money. This is not even all I've got. This is just the ones I have that have to do with this project. Check this out. If I come over here, underneath where my feet are, when I work, do you see in here? Do you see all these photo booth pictures? Bags of photo booth pictures. So much stuff, folks, and that has value. It has value, but I'm being lazy. So what I need to do is I either need to get all of these and sell them and say, scrap the project, it was a fun process, but I'm not doing it, or I need to get it done. All right? This is me being very real and very honest with you. I'm not trying to promote a book that I'm probably never going to finish, or maybe I need a little encouragement. Maybe I need to have a moment of self-reflection and say, hey, do the work if you're going to do it. If you're not, then do the work you need to do to sell these things, because they do no good sitting in a little old container outside of anyone's viewing. They're just sitting here. They're just things, and I have bills to pay. So I need to make a decision. What am I going to do? Here's a grouping of instruments which I purchased very, very inexpensively with the intention of working on them and making them functional again so that I could sell them. And have I sold them? Well, they're sitting in front of me here, so I think you know the answer to that. This one right here, if I'm going to do the rest of the work on it, I need to put a new nut on here. And then it's basically done. I got to put a nut on that and put a saddle in here with the bridge pins, of course, and string it up. This is an old, kind of probably sold by like Sears and Roebuck out of a catalog back in the day. Pretty inexpensive, but I only paid $10 for this guitar. $10. All right, here's another one. I think I paid $40 for this one. I needed to do a little bit of work on it, so I did. It's an old Harmony guitar here. Made in Korea, I believe, probably in the 1970s, something like that. Somebody tried to refinish it at one point in time and did about the worst job I've ever seen on a refinish job. I mean, look at this. It just looks ugly. So it's functional, though. It plays. And so somebody would pay for that, you know. Here's a nice guitar, something like a silver tone or a super tone or something like that from back in the 1930s. I did some significant work on this. This had been converted at one time to a floating bridge and a tailpiece. I removed that. I drilled in. I put new wood underneath to brace it. I routed and glued on a new bridge. I sanded down a new saddle. The nut was okay where it was at, but I stringed it up. And, you know, it plays, folks. It plays. It's actually got decent action. It's a very interesting wood. I don't know what. I think it's a very beautiful and cool sounding instrument, but it's not my main axe. You know, I don't need this guitar. What I do need is the money that this guitar represents. So I need to get it up listed. Here's something that I paid $12 for. This is an authentic 1930s era mandolin. And I've done some extensive work on this. This thing had a broken neck. And so what I've done, the tuning pegs were not functional. A couple of them were broken off. So I had to buy some new ones. I had to reroute the holes. I had to get those installed. Then I had to fabricate a new nut, which I didn't have any bone laying around, so I did have some rosewood. So I fabricated a rosewood nut to go on there. I bought a new floating bridge out of rosewood. I sanded it down so it would fit the top size here. I took out the old rusty screws and put new screws in for the pick guard, and I installed a new tail piece here and put strings on it. And she plays, right? It's not the greatest thing you've ever heard in the world, but it's at least functional. Also, it had this broken neck here, so I had to, put some screws in here. I had to put some glue in there, and then some wood glue. I've sanded it down. It's slick, and now I just need to put some new stain and lacquer on this to cover it up as much as possible. But it's a functional instrument. It's solid. It'll work. Somebody would buy this, and I'm only about $35, between $35 and $40 in on this instrument with all the work and my time, of course. But, I'm not sitting around playing mandolin that much anymore. And so I need to get this puppy sold. All right. This is, I'm going to keep these out after this video, and so that this is like the next thing I do. Like the next thing I do, folks, is I'm getting these puppies listed. Am I going to get hordes of money for this stuff? No, I'm not. But it will free up space where I'm storing things for other stuff. It's going to help me pay bills. It's going to give me some more money that I can reinvest in the business when I find other good things that I can make profit on. Folks, this just came in basically in the last week. This old box, this old Machinist box, and all of the tools you see in here are tools that I purchased at the same estate sale. You got various types of hand planes and this and that. You've got, I've put these different drawers together of items, all that were purchased. These are all like draw knives. Okay, down in here, you've got various wood-handled chisels. And then at the very bottom here, you've got some other wood chisels and whetstones to sharpen the blades. And now, I've only had this up a week, but folks, it's just sat here. I haven't listed it. This is the kind of thing that is just so neat and such a cool collector's piece that I'm almost tempted to hold on to it. But no, I should not do that. I need to get this junk listed and fast, okay? Because this has some really good value. This box itself is a $300 to $400 box. I've probably got another, I would say this entire thing could probably sell for $1,000 with the items in there. If I took each of these out and sold them individually for their going prices, and in the box, it would be that or more. And so how can I afford to let this just sit here? I'm not using these tools. I'm not doing any woodworking stuff right now. What am I doing? I need to get this listed, and I need to get it listed this week. What I'm about to show you is probably one of my most embarrassing things that I've held on to. What I have here are a variety of pieces of jewelry which are solid gold that I have picked up at various places over the last 3 months and have yet to list. I have a large solid gold necklace here. I've got a beautiful 14 karat gold bracelet with pearls. An 18 karat gold antique, like, sort of Victorian or Georgian era pendant here, little brooch with a diamond, some earrings, an 18 karat gold necklace. This is to hold a gold coin, and it's made of gold. Do I have any more in there? No, not right now. Why I'm embarrassed, folks, is that there is no reason why I need to hold on to this stuff. The whole reason I put it away is because I knew it was gold. I marked it and I dumped it in here. But the thing is, gold sells super fast. It sells for really good money because it's always carrying good value. And right now, Two reasons why I should throw this up. Number one, gold is at a very high value right now. It's quite valuable per gram. And also, people are buying jewelry as gifts right now for Christmas. So the thing is, I've probably got somewhere between $1,500 and $2,000, maybe $2,500, depending on what this might go for, in gold jewelry just sitting here. It's just sitting here, and it's not doing anything. I'm not wearing it. I have no intention of wearing it. Why am I not throwing this up? If you have old jewelry that, maybe was given to you that you never wear, maybe you bought it and you don't have, it's just not a style you're interested in anymore. Maybe you inherited something. If you can get over the fact that it came from a family member, if you're never going to do anything with it, folks, especially if you bought it with the intention of selling, you need to get those puppies up right now, because people are buying this stuff like hotcakes. And if you wait very long, the value of them will go down. Gold fluctuates in price. I'm telling you right now, it's really high, so you'll get the most money for your stuff. Check these out. I've got them in this sort of Art Deco design clear glass ashtray, which I haven't sold. And then I put inside of here these. They're marbles, of course, but here's the deal. If I take this right here, which is a fluorescent light, watch what happens. Boom, they fluoresce. These are called Vaseline glass marbles. They've got uranium in them. Uranium. That's what makes them glow. These things can sell for good money, but I haven't listed them. Why? Just because they're neat? And that's not a good reason, folks. I need to get these out there, get that money in so I can reinvest in something else. Real picture postcards. It's a postcard. You know what that is. It's something you write a message to your friends or family, and you'd address it to them, and you'd send it in the mail. And they get a nice note, and they get a picture. But in 1907, the Kodak company created a camera called the Model 3. And it was a camera that allowed a person to take a photograph on a negative that was exactly a 4x6. And so they could go off and they could put their own personal photographs that they took on a postcard. Now here's an example. What you got right here is a gentleman, and he's out there. He's logging. He's cutting down. There's another one over here. You can see that man right there in the trees, and they're cutting down all of these trees. That's cool. Here's one of a little old girl, and she's just taking a little rest, a little nap. Look at that. Look at the print on the wall. This is like late 1800s, folks. Really cool. In fact, it's an undivided back, which means back before they divided, all you were allowed to do is just put the address that it's being sent to. But once they moved to divided backs, like this one, you could put the address on one side on the right and your correspondence, your message, on the other. That's a way to help you date the age of things. Here's one with a man with a pack on his head, just being an old goober standing there in the snow. Speaking of snow, looked like a big snowstorm here, and this boy is ready to throw that little ball of snow at you if you get too close. Here's a couple of postcards of a demonstration by a fire department. He's using the hose. Look at that. He's got his old fireman outfit on, the big old hat, and he's spraying up in the air. Oh, look at all these people there showing up to see it. Here's a couple of little girls, twins, with matching porcelain head dolls. Very cute. Here's an old family just enjoying some libations, perhaps on a Sunday afternoon. I don't know. Here, this lady right here, she's kind of winking at you. And goodness, we're all just having the bubbly, aren't we? Well, look, these guys are too. This is probably celebration of Prohibition ending, would be my guess, but I don't know. Awesome one right here, some workers, some rural men out there working on I don't know what type of a piece of equipment that is, but it's for harvesting something. Man with a shovel, they're taking their little lunch break. Here's a couple of postcards that are timely right now because it's December. Now's the time to sell your Christmas stuff. Here's a Santa Claus in a blue or a purple robe. Those tend to sell for the most money, ones with blue or purple. And then finally, one of my favorites that I have, and I don't know why, it's sort of a common picture, but it's a beautiful young lady here. She's wearing a locket around her neck, And then her little child, I'm assuming her child, standing there with his overalls, hands in his pockets. It's just a mom and a little son hanging out. Very cool. And you know what? I've got oodles and oodles of these old postcards, and postcards can sell for some excellent money, particularly these old rare scenes that are made of actual photographs. I have no excuse for why I haven't listed these. I just think that they're fascinating piece of history. But there's more out there to buy and sell, folks. I need to get these up in the store and pronto. Folks, between the time that I started creating this video and finishing the editing to bring it out to you, something miraculous happened, and I'm so glad it did, and I want to share it with you because it proves the point I'm trying to make in this video entirely. The evening after I started this video, I did exactly what I'm telling you that you should do. I took my own advice. I listed some things in my store that I have been holding on to, and lo and behold, I made some sales. Let me show you that right now to prove my point even further. I started listing things just as I told you that you should do. This was a buckle that I got in a lot of, maybe 20-some different belt buckles. It's just been sitting here. It's not a high-dollar item, and that's why I haven't used my time on it yet. But you know what? Fiddlesticks. No excuses. Get it up there. I got it up. It sold for nearly $10, and that's very easy. Next item here is a pocket watch chain. It's gold filled, and it has some little faux pearls down here and a little synthetic opal. Really cool piece, $124. Here is a bunch of old photo booth pictures from a collection that I've been amassing over time. Ones that I'm not going to use for any specific purpose. They're not as unique. So out with this stuff and in with the money. I took a best offer for $85. Here is one of those instruments I showed you in this video. I put it up, sold it real quick. I was about $40 in on this. I didn't make a lot of money. Sometimes you don't make a lot of money on stuff. You just need to move it and get that money back in-house. I don't even know if it's going to cost me a full $40, but I got $20 or $30 in profit back. Here is an old vintage set, a razor set here. It's a safety razor. It's by the Gillette company with the original case. I paid $3 for this, sold it for $45. Here is a set of earrings, beautiful angel skin coral set in 14 karat yellow gold. I paid $3 for this set because I didn't know it was gold, and I sold it for $197. This is one of the tools that's in this tool chest I showed you. I paid $125 for every bit of those tools and even more. And I sold this one tool for $114. Here's a couple old direct boxes from back in my music days when I used to go out and perform. I just play for myself and Peaches these days and Flo on occasion. But it doesn't matter because I threw these up and they sold $10. I actually didn't need a ton of money from these, because I'd used them for years. They're going out the door. Here's an old photo booth shop that I created myself in my own personal photo booth years ago. It's just me sticking my feet up. Actually, to tell you the truth, if you flip this around, that's how it was made. I was actually on my back sticking my feet up in the air, which is why you see that these are angled up. It's actually because it was created upside down. But they don't know that. It looks like suspended shoes in the air. One little frame on a photo booth picture, $20, and it took me less than a day. And the big one, folks, I threw some of this gold up there. I got I put it up for $900 and some dollars, and I took a best offer for $800. Folks, this is incredible. It really does work. Get out there and make it happen. Is that not incredible? In a 24-hour period with stuff that I had just been dragging my feet on, I throw it up, and if you total those up, I have earned somewhere between $1,400 and $1,500 in the last 48 hours for stuff that I've just been sitting on. Now is the time. The buyers are buying for Christmas. Get out there and do it. This can work for you. I'm not saying you're going to make loads of money. It depends on what you have and how much of it you have. But I just started this process, and I've dedicated myself to doing this for the next week, every single day, pulling things out. If I can do $1,400 to $1,500 in 2 days, What about 6 days from now? What about 10 days from now? We could all use that money around the holidays for ourselves, for our bills, for our families, if we want to donate to the community, whatever it is, folks. You can do this. You just have to be disciplined. That's something that's taken me a long time to learn and get good at, and I'm still not great at it, which is why I'm talking to myself here. But you can see the proof is in the pudding, folks. Get out there, get those things listed. You will not be disappointed. Now, I'm going to end this video with two things. One is a hot tip. The other is something exciting coming in a month in 2024. Some big exciting things. Stick around the next couple minutes. You're going to hear. Rusty's Hot Tips. Here's a quick tip. Again, this is not do what I say, don't do what I do. This is do what I'm going to do because it may help. Be listing this stuff heavily right now in December. But whatever didn't sell, maybe take everything. I know this is drastic, but if you really want to make money, maybe you take everything in your store and you discount it, you take it out of your store, you put it back in, or you run auctions. And you do it, here's the kicker, on Christmas Day. You do it on December 25th for two reasons. One small one and one big one. One small reason is that on Christmas, most people are not working. Most people are home. Or they're otherwise not indisposed in the evening times or the afternoons. Maybe they need to take a little break, take a break from the hustle and bustle of family coming in and out or whatever. They just need a little me time. But they're checking what's out there. They just got some money. It's Christmas. They got money in their stocking. They got money for Christmas. And now it's burning a hole in that pocket. They want to find out if they can buy that thing that they're looking for. And they're going to eBay. They're looking to see what just came out. So if you list something on Christmas Day, boom, you're at the top of the feed. People are going to find your stuff. And they have money to spend. That's the small reason, even though it's a pretty good one by itself. The number one reason you do it on Christmas Day, and I would suggest in the evening time, is if you run a 7-day auction, guess when that auction's going to end? It's going to end on January 1st. Well, why is that important? Well, two reasons. One small one and one big one. The small one is, again, people are home. They still got that money. They're off from work, and they're just looking for something to do. They're scanning eBay. They're there to buy. If you do it in the evening, you're going to catch the most people. But the big reason is that when those auctions end and when those people pay, it's a new year. Why is that important? Well, it's because you can load up on a bunch of funds to start your year out. Day one, you could get a bunch of money in. And the best thing about that is you do not owe any sort of sales or income tax on that money for another whole year. So instead of selling it on the next to last day or whatever of the year, and then you, in 2 months' time, 3 months' time, got to pay taxes on that, you start your year potentially flush with cash for savings, for preparing for the year, for reinvesting in your company, and you're not going to be liable for the taxes until a whole other year. Now, I'm not a certified public accountant, right? I'm not your YouTube tax guy. But what I'm saying is not true. It can help you out to get some money to start off the year, and also you defer your tax obligation for another whole year. Well, I hope that helps, folks, but here is something exciting that I really need to put on a fun hat and glasses to tell you about. Oh, well, hello there, my friends, my cousins of mine. How you do? I'm fine, and I'm here to tell you about something exciting coming in 2024. It's a new YouTube channel. That's right. We're moving past high spirits. We're moving past Postcard Planet. We're moving past What Sold. We're moving past even Rusty the Reseller. Now, don't worry. We're still doing those channels, but we're adding one, and it's going to be called Dear Cousin, where I, Rusty, answer your pressing questions. Over the last couple of years, all kinds of awesome questions have come in, and I have just not done the best job of answering those. And I want to bring my knowledge, my experience, and doggone it, my opinions to you and your household. I want to help you out with your pressing questions. Now, am I a certified public accountant? No, I am not. Am I a lawyer? No, I am not. Am I, a puppeteer, street performer? Well, yes, but that's beside the point. I don't do that anymore. Now, I'm just going to give you my opinions on stuff from, tax advice to is it supposed to burn when I go to the bathroom, and everything in between. Rusty is your guy. I'm going to answer these questions, anything that comes through any feed on any channel. And so get those questions ready, folks, because old Rusty is here. Your cousin is going to answer those for you. So look for that coming soon in 2024. We're real excited about it, and I just wanted you to know. So keep your ear to the ground. And, don't fret, still, don't stop seeing your therapist or anything, but hopefully I can help. And but more than just giving my own personal, reactions to the stuff that's going on, making weird faces like, ha! Well, instead of just watching me, let me tell you, I got opinions, folks, and I think they can help you. We'll show you that real soon. In the meantime, folks, get out there, find those treasures, find gold necklaces or wonderful women's red jackets or whatever it is that you're into, and we'll see you real soon. Well, I'm just asking for a friend. It's about to get real good. Beat-o, bo, bo, let's go make some money. Rusty, 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 how to? Rusty, 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 how to? Rusty, Rusty.